and welcome to Spirited Investigations. Today we are riding on the shoulders of giants and we're interviewing Supernatural Roundtable. They're soaring up in the popularity on their videos, getting new subscribers and just creaming it. So we're really excited to have you guys with us.
Welcome, Craig and Richard.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had a great time squatching with you. What was it, September or so?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, something like
So
that.
how you guys doing? Are y'all ready for the storm? No.
Definitely not.
Can
No.
be something else.
Well,
Which brings actually a quick question of you. Do you think there might be more Bigfoot activity based on this weather?
I kind of bet they're hunkering down somewhere.
I think there might be activity leading up to it, just like how you'll have deer activity leading up through a storm. But once it hits, I believe all activity will probably stop. I mean, we're not experts, but you know.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll be like us, I suppose, just hunkering down, trying to stay warm,
Right.
get their cave all nice and tidy.
So first of all, Richard, can you tell the audience and us your history, your Bigfoot history or your paranormal history?
My Bigfoot history? Oh boy. Let's see. Of course, growing up, I always heard his stories. So I had that to fall back on. And everyone was obsessed with the legend of Boggy Creek. I remember that. When did that come out, Craig? That was in the 70s.
1971.
Okay.
I was
I just
going to say
watched a
too.
video about it last night. So
Yeah.
And I'm granted not that old, but y'all would rent it occasionally. I remember that, and I'd just remember it, and then I'd hear your stories, and then I'd occasionally hear other stories around it, but I never really paid it much mind. It was always there in the back of my mind a little bit. And then me and my mom moved to Belleville, Arkansas, and I hooked up with some old friends of mine that I'd known from childhood, and we were fishing out in the bottoms, by the Pedagine River. And it was in December. I can't remember what day in December. This is in 06. It was unseasonably warm, though, as it wants to do here occasionally. So we were night fishing. Not having much luck. One of them had built a fire. And I think it was about midnight when we heard this sound that I had never heard before. I'm not as outdoorsy as Craig here, but I do know the sounds of animals in Arkansas. And it was that woo, but instead of doing a whoop, it carried on and then drowned out. It was really, really weird.
I bet that put the hackles up on the back of your neck, huh?
Oh, hard. Very hard.
Yeah.
So me and my buddy, we retreated to the other side of the fire, and we were just sitting there talking about it. And, he's like, do you know what that was? I was like, I have no idea. I've never heard that before in my life. And then we heard it again, much closer this time. I'd say 30, 40 yards closer,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was about the sound, but it freaked us out. So the sound had come from, I was driving an old Jeep at the time, and the sound had come from my driver's side. So I bail in through the passenger side because I've seen that movie before. I'm not doing that. Never, think logically in situations like that, at least in my eyes. And we pulled up and backed out of there, straight back. I didn't try to look. I didn't try to swing the headlights around. We just wanted to be gone. But the next day, we come back, and the tent had been unzipped, which was really weird. The food we had in the tent was gone. So we had burger patties and everything else. We were planning on grilling that night. That was gone. And I found about a 16-inch bear footprint in the mud. So
a bear. The bear that unzipped the tent.
Yeah, right.
With his opposable paw.
Yeah, right. So that is probably my, I don't know, I guess you could say my introduction, because I've never actually seen one. He's the one with all the sightings.
Oh, we'll get to Craig.
Yeah. So I started kind of looking at BFRO and stuff like that. And I kind of followed it through the years, but I never committed. And then I remember it wasn't too long. Me and Mom were getting ready to move. She was moving towards Greenwood, and I think I was moving towards Dardanelle. So we're just, kind of separating. We taken a drive through the bottoms that night. Ever since then, we'd take night drives. Just curious, can't get that out of our heads. And I came around the bend and off 40, 50 yards, I think, there was a figure crouched in the ditch. It was smaller, though. We're not talking big hulking figure. The headlights hit it, and it did you ever see a chimp run? The whole, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It did that across the road, halfway across. It dove into the opposite cornfield and was gone. And it was shaggy
That's
gray.
creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So I can't say I saw one because I don't know. I don't know what.
So when did you guys decide to come together and start the Supernatural Roundtable and get into doing the hunting and stuff?
Well, we'd been interested in it, and we'd gone up before. What was it? 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
We went out 2 years ago on Flood Mountain where we took y'all, and that exact road we took you on, we found a print. But
Okay.
it wasn't a footprint. I sent it to several people that are in the field, and they think it was knuckle prints in the mud. But I mean, my hand is pretty decent size. This thing dwarfed mine.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge, and that really, we got more interested after that. And then our buddy Sean's like, "Hey, do you guys want to do a podcast?"
Yeah, it just started off as fun, at the beginning, but since it started growing, it's really piqued our interest.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. That's kind of like us. We just had so much paranormal activity that, that's how we met,
Right.
That got us into doing, Mark already had spirited investigations back in 2005 when I met him.
Yeah, so 2003 I started that up.
And then we
Oh,
just
wow.
took it from there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wondered what got you guys started doing this together. Now, I should explain that, Richard, you are Craig's nephew,
Mm-hmm.
and Shelley is Craig's sister, which is your mom, right?
Yes.
Okay, just so people know the relation and why you know so many stories between you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pretty much kind of helped raise Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can tell y'all's family is really close, and I just love that for
Yeah.
you. That's cool.
Well, Craig, can we have your potted history of your experiences?
First of all, let's mention that Mr. Craig here was interviewed
Oh,
by
yes.
Sasquatch Theory in a very good interview.
Congratulations on
Yeah.
that one.
Thank you.
So, that's why I say potted history, because, boy, you filled that show up.
I guess so. Well, a lot of people don't realize, I lived, my family, we lived way out in the boonies. And when I say out there, just to get to school was a 2-hour ride.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And it was bad. I mean, we lived on the backside of Blue Mountain Lake, but at the bottom of Flood Mountain.
And that's where the pig farm was that you showed us?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was way out there.
Do you remember that house on the corner we passed right before we stopped that last time?
Yeah,
Before
the
the-
yellow.
That was their house.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I grew up at. We moved out there when I was 11 years old, and I don't know. We went quite a few years, and we never had any problems. And that year, let's see, I was 16 years old. And anyway, it was nighttime, and I was having to go down and check on baby pigs that were being born. And of course, the hog farm itself, the barn, it was about 100 yards from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I usually just walk. I take my dogs with me, and I always carried a gun. And this particular night, I don't know, I decided to carry a 410 shotgun. Of course, anybody who knows guns, a 410 ain't much.
Well, that's in case a duck attacks you, right?
Well, yeah.
The duck might take it away and beat you with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but we have been having a lot of problems with wild dogs and coyotes at that time. So, we always, whether we was just going down there at any time, we always carried a gun. And I was walking along, had a little, them old D-cell flashlights, you'd shake and they'd go on and off, back
with
in
the
the
little
day.
orange plastic ring on the top and the
Yes.
plastic, yeah.
Exactly. And I was shining around and looking for eyes as I was walking down to the barn. And, I was looking, and then all of a sudden, I was just about to the barn, and I shined the light down the road about, as far as I could, and about another 100 yards down there, I seen eyes. And from my vantage point, what I was looking at, I didn't think it being big at all, but anyway, I pointed down the road and I told my dogs, I said, get it. So they took off. And so I'm running right behind them, they're a little bit ahead of me. And we get close down there, and my dogs stop. I mean, they just put the brakes on. They just flat out stopped. So I catch up to them, and I'm sitting there. I'm kind of mad at them for stopping. Well, they, they're cowering at my feet, and I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? And then it just finally dawns on me, hey, dummy, look up. Mm-hmm. So I shined the light and I looked up where I thought the eyes were, but all I seen was feet. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, and in my head, I just, my mind's going wild. Now, I'm probably 10 to 12 feet from this thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I can see him real good with this flashlight, and I'm shining up, and of course, he's the long, thick legs. Oh my gosh. And his arms hung down to almost his knees. And, and the reason why I say him, there was a bulge there, okay? It was covered with hair, but there was a bulge there. So I'm assuming it was a male. And
it wasn't like Patty with the breasts.
No, definitely not. He had a pretty built chest.
Uh-huh.
I was shining it up, and I get to his head and face, and I mean, the light hits it, and it's just red eyes is what I see glowing back at me. The face, he had a real pronounced brow ridge, you know. I could see that real good. And the nose, it wasn't like a, you know, a lot of people say a gorilla nose or
The flatter with the
flatter.
Yeah, so
This one was not. It had a more pronounced nose like us, but it was big. And of course, his lips were like, you know, really big, had a big mouth, you know, and it was just all the parts of him, you know, look like us in a lot of ways. And I couldn't really see it. His ears, you know, they was covered with hair. He didn't have much hair in his face. You know, I don't know the reasoning of that. You know, he was pretty hairy, and I guess you might say the hair was a reddish tint. You know, a lot of people say, you know, that they see a lot of red tint ones. You know, red hair and all that. But anyway, you know, we're standing there, we're looking at one another, and I don't know. It's like time stood still. You know, I don't know how long we've been face to face with one another. It just seemed like everything went in slow motion. But I looked down at my 410 and I was like, no, I don't think so. You know,
I'm just going to get it angry.
Yeah, exactly. That's about all it would have done. So I was watching it, and I took about 2 or 3 steps backwards, and about that time, you know, it turned, and it was standing in the ditch on the left-hand side, and it took 2 steps and crossed the road. That's how big the strides were. And once it took off, it went right into a real bad thicket there. You know, a bunch of briars and honeysuckle and all that. And I lost sight of him. Well, my dogs decided that they would go after him then. So they went out there, and I heard them bark. And then I heard my one of my littler dogs. She was a little squirrel dog, little feist, and I heard her yelp. And of course, she come running back to me, and on one of her front legs, she literally had the skin ripped down.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was ripped down almost to her paw. You know, yeah, it was terrible. You know, luckily, like I said, we lived on a farm, so we had all the stuff. You know, I could suture her up
and stuff,
and fix her. You know, but that was a really scary moment there, because when she come back to me, that's when I heard it out there. It was such a guttural sound that it just like vibrated at me.
You felt it in your chest?
Yeah. You know, you could just feel it. And, you know, at that moment, you know, that's when I just took off with my dog, you know, and of course went to the barn there and treated her, you know. But, you know, in all my mind, you know, I'm at that age, you know, and early, you know, I mean, you're talking about the 1980s, you know, and a lot of people just didn't talk about stuff like that. You know, and so I just decided not to tell anybody, you know, and you know, and I didn't tell anybody for the longest time.
Did you tell your folks?
No, not at first. Not until the sighting with my ex-brother-in-law, which would have been Richard's dad. You know, the one I seen, it would have been like the second encounter, I think, that happened right there at the house. And this time I seen it across the road from the house. And
Do you think it was the same one?
no, I really don't. This one, even though I could not see its face, it was darker. This was, I didn't have no light, but this was like right at, that moment where it's almost dark but not quite.
Uh-huh.
And of course
Colors are just getting funky.
Yeah. And it's standing there against the bushes, and the only way I noticed it, I just happened to catch the silhouette of it standing there, because when I first walked out on the porch, my dog, I had a dog named Bear, and he was on the porch scared to death. And I was like, "What's up, buddy? What's up?" And I mean, he was scared. He wasn't going. He even growled at me,
Mm-hmm.
and that was unusual. They'd never done that before. And I seen where he was looking at, and that's when I stepped off the porch and I walked out there to the edge of the road, and I mean, he was standing there. Well, I assumed that one was a male too, but it was too dark to see. It blended in so well with the bushes and all the brush that it was just, I really didn't, all I seen was the silhouette mainly of it. But my brother-in-law, I don't know, on that one there, I froze completely up, and I could hear everything going on around me. And my brother-in-law, I heard him behind me. He was saying, he kept saying, Craig, and I could hear him saying my name, but I could not say anything. And then finally he comes over, and I felt him touch my shoulder, and that's when this thing, it seen my brother-in-law, and it just took off, and you could hear it crashing up down through there. And of course the dogs decided to go after it again, but I guess they knew when to back off because they didn't keep chasing it.
Yeah.
But it made a big old circle, lost the dogs, and we seen it cross the road, down there past our hog barn, and that was it of that night, but that was my two main close-up sightings that I had.
Okay, I have a question, couple questions about the first sighting you saw. How big was it? Massive height, weight? And also, when you saw the eyes, did you ever see a golden glow to them as well as a red glow? Because there's some controversy about whether they glow red or yellow or golden.
Well, as far as the eyes were concerned, it pretty much stayed red the whole time.
Okay.
Every time the light would hit it, it's just a constant red glow.
Okay.
Now the height, and that's why I think that there was two different Bigfoot here, because the one at my first sighting, it was probably, give or take, between 8 and 9 feet tall. But the one across, at the house, the silhouette, it was bigger. It was. I'd have to say, it's between 9 and 10 foot range.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Now, the one that I seen later on at that cemetery that I told y'all about,
Mm-hmm.
that one was even bigger. Yeah, it was probably, I don't know, it had to be close to 12 foot. And
I
it
was,
was,
I was a
it was-
basketball cheerleader. I know the rim of a basketball hoop is 10 feet up there. That is
Yes.
huge.
I know, and and it just and the one I seen at the cemetery, it was also dark colored. Even in the moonlight, it was more darker.
Tell us
So
about that encounter.
what's that?
Tell us about the third encounter there.
Well, that would be the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
It was late one night. Me and my buddy, they had moved into the house across the road from us during that time, and me and the son over there became really good buddies, and we decided, we went to the theater, Boonville Theater, one night, and watched the movie. And of course, it was after 10 o'clock. By the time we come through there, and it's probably 7 to 8 miles, I'd say, give or take, dirt road all the way from the pavement to our house. Probably about at least 8 miles. And we're going along there, and of course we have a flat. So yeah, so I'm looking in the back, and I cannot find a jack to save my soul. So I told him, I said, I guess we're walking. I said, I guess I left the jack at home.
Did you have your other encounters in the back of your head when this happened? Are you going to be walking home through these woods where you've experienced this?
In a way, yes. But Jimmy, my friend, see, this would be his first encounter. But we're walking along there, and we're, of course, you know how teenage boys are. You're kind of talking and giving each other crap, and you know how it goes. And we're just walking along there, and we get almost to the cemetery. And of course, back then it just had a fence line, and it was clear pasture. It wasn't grown up, and all you had was like a few trees in the fence line, growing up in the fence line, and that was about it. You could see hundreds of yards out there, and it was a moonlit night. And anyway, we're walking along there, and I hear something, and I look up, and I seen it first, and I seen it standing there, and boy, I don't know, I could have swore that I told my buddy to run, but I guess I didn't. I took off running. And anyway, my buddy, he's like, what's going on here? And then he looks up and he sees it. So he's running too. Well, he finally catches up with me about a mile down the road. Back then I was in shape and I could run. So anyway, we kind of talk about it and chat about it, and we decided, we wasn't going to say too much to anybody about this, just kind of keep it to ourselves. So, we pretty much did, but we didn't even tell them, when we got to the house, that we seen something while walking back. We didn't mention nothing.
Wow.
I don't think I could keep quiet.
Well, no, but like you say, it was a different time.
Yeah.
And if you saw a UFO or a ghost, you were
Yeah,
very cool.
that's true.
Yeah. So,
Well, that's another odd thing about out there. We also had UFO encounters.
ah,
Yes, we had, of course, a power line run right through our hog farm, and we at the time we lived in a trailer house right beside the house, and one night the trailer house was just shaking, and it looked like daylight outside, but it was like 1 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like daylight when you look outside. So we all went outside, and by the time we got out there, we seen it. It was going over the hill, following the power line, but it looked like, and I swear, it looked like a big mother ship.
wow.
And it was just right above the power line, like it was maybe getting energy from it or something.
Okay.
But we found out that we wasn't the only ones that seen it that night. There was other people down the line that seen that also.
That answers the question.
And then my mom and my sister, a little bit later, I can't exactly remember how much longer, but one day it was just them two, and out from our houses was a little ridge, and they was watching out there, and there was these 3 lights, and they said that these 3 lights would come down in formation and do little circles, and then they just separate and go different ways, and they kept doing this for they said it happened for 20 minutes or so.
Oh.
Yeah. So, so we had UFO activity, had Bigfoot activity. So, there seems to be always kind of a correlation, with that.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to a question. Do either of you still live near that area of these events?
I'm probably about, I don't know, I guess about an hour away now.
And I'm about 2
You
hours
Craig, you're up in
away.
Oklahoma. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I just wondered if you could have seen, like the UFO events, if you could still see something from where you are now of that area.
No, we're a little too far away for that now.
Richard, have you had any experiences with UFOs?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a ex that worked on Mountain Magazine at the lodge. 2011, 2012, I guess. And I was going, I had to pick her up late one night, and I was heading up top Mountain Magazine, which you see, I don't know if you remember when we were out, Mountain Magazine's a big mountain across the valley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I happened to get up to the major overlook there when you're going up that side of the mountain, and turn back, and it'd be the direction of their hog farm where it was. I seen a light come up, and it hovered for a second. I pulled over. This is miles away, but I'm on top of the mountain. I can see it. And then it just shoots straight up into the sky. It was gone.
Yes.
Because, there is a correlation between Bigfoot and UFOs now, they're saying, and even light orbs. They say people see light orbs when they have Bigfoot encounters. Is that anything you've ever encountered?
When we went to the Dover lights, and we was watching them orbs, and and then shortly thereafter we did the Bigfoot call, and we got an answer, and then shortly thereafter we was experiencing it had to have been Bigfoot activity. We just never seen it.
Mm-hmm. You could hear it going on, or
Oh yeah, you could hear it walking out there. Yeah.
Excuse me.
And just the overall feeling change too.
And then we get, when the wind would change, and we get this awful smell that would hit us in the face. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do the pair of you, when you go out together, do you see more things, experience more things, or do you experience things more when you're on your own?
Oh, I think we've had more activity together than we have separate.
Yeah, it seems to be. I think when we're together, it's, more eyes seeing things,
Yes. I do remember, Richard, you were pointing things out when we took a walk out there with you. When we visited, you were pointing a lot of things out, like tree breaks and things like this.
And piling the rocks on top of each other.
Yeah. So you seem to work well as a team that way. Like you say, extra eyes on these things that might be around.
The rock thing was interesting because that wasn't there the year before when we had gone there the 2 years.
Yeah, but when me and Sean went remember when me and Sean went? The rock stacking was there then.
We also saw somebody that put a camera in the woods by there. Could it have been someone doing nefarious things like that?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many, you wouldn't think so, but like people coming up during bear season, they'll come up there on the mountain, camp where we park, and all that. But there's a lot more people that come in there hunting during the seasons than what a person realizes. So it could be possible for a camera to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
I did wonder if people were doing research of their own. I mean, are there a lot of reports, reported of Bigfoot in the area? And could that have been a reason for the camera?
Well, it could be a possibility. I have heard that there's another group somewhere out there. I don't know if they're in our general area, but I've heard about another group, but I don't know who they are.
Because I also wondered whether you might, do you follow up on reports that you might see of Bigfoot reports? Do you actually go out and investigate those?
I wish we could. We don't always get a chance to do that. Matter of fact, we had right after I did the Sasquatch theory interview, I had an old friend contact me that I had went to elementary school with.
And he saw your video? The video?
Well, it was a girl. It was a female friend that I went to school with back in the, we're talking 6th grade. Last time I seen her.
Wow.
But she apparently moved out in the country, kind of between Havana and Belleville. There's a place called, you can go out. There's a place called Cedar Piney Lake, and it's like a watershed lake for Havana. But they live out there, and they have been having some sightings and some things happening out there. And as soon as it gets good weather and everything, we're going to plan a trip over there to investigate.
Oh, I have a question. Being you're near my age, do you remember? Well, maybe you were still too young. I was going to remember. Do you remember the excitement around the Falk monster when it was happening?
Yes. The first time, even though I was young, we went. My parents took us to the theater to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was little, but at that time, you watch something like that, and
Of
that
course.
that was
And that's just
scary.
down the road.
Right,
You know,
right. Yeah,
not
it
really,
was,
but really.
and the Fount Monster, anybody that wants to watch it needs to, because it's one of the best Bigfoot documentaries out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really neat that they incorporate the townspeople in the
Right.
movie
Yeah, you're right.
and other witnesses.
Yeah, it
Mark
was real.
hadn't seen that until he came over here.
Oh,
I
really?
heard the case before that, yes, and I really did enjoy the film. I thought it was quite well made,
Yeah.
but kind of scary for the people as well. And that leads me on to another question. The whole Bigfoot topic, as well as UFOs, appears to be gaining in popularity with people. But there's got to be several things that people shouldn't do if they're going out into the woods looking for Bigfoot. And I wondered what you guys might give as simple advice.
Well, I mean,
Besides not taking a 410.
I would say, yeah, do bring a firearm, correct?
right. Well,
I think the firearm is not so much for the Bigfoot. That's for you never know what you're gonna run into.
yeah, you
and
might
that kind of
run
stuff,
into
yeah.
a bear or something,
Yeah.
I don't think if, after seeing what I seen, I don't think I could shoot one at all, and if I seen one, walked up on one, definitely don't rush one. don't try to run up on it or anything like that. I don't think that'd be very smart. I don't know. There'd be several things I think I'd try if I ever walked up on one, which would be maybe see if I could communicate with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then if it didn't like me communicating, it'd probably let me know, and then I'd get out of there.
Yes.
Do you think they can read our minds?
I don't know about that, but I think that it could let you know what it liked and disliked. You know what I mean? Through sounds.
Okay.
That's what I believe. I believe they're capable, of verbal stuff, and they like you hear the Sierra sounds, and them sounds like that, where it sounds like they're talking to one another and stuff like that.
Chatter?
Yeah, the chatter. I think that they probably have their own language, and
definitely.
And I think that, if a person could, I think they could probably be able to teach them how to speak like us.
I'm going to get the cat here before he drives us nuts.
We've got a cat that, well, he knows how to train us anyway in language, I think.
Right. But, as far as anything, I think they're very smart. They're intelligent. I mean, like they say, they're the hide and seek champion of the world.
Yes, indeed, yes.
Yeah.
I guess really, people shouldn't just rush in there with the cameras going and the rest. You probably won't see anything anyway, because if they can read your minds, they're going to stay well out of the way.
Well, no doubt. And I think if there's a whole bunch of people carrying guns and stuff, I think they're going to stay out of sight.
Yeah.
I think those things give off chemical odors and things that they can see.
Well, there's not just that. There's also been so many reports of them recognizing a gun.
Yes.
The Hanobia encounter that we covered in our video, when he was taking the trash out, he was armed, because at that point they'd already had violent interactions with these things, and it stood up out of the dumpster and stared down at him, but then it looked down at his gun and decided it was going to get out of there.
Really?
Yeah, because they'd already shot at one, or shot one. It was trying to get in their house, so I could understand that.
Right.
And I would also say, if you have any around your house, if they come and visit, do not habituate them. Don't leave gifts. Don't leave food. Do not leave food.
Right. Don't be a friend.
Not like that. There's been so many stories of, I know of one, I'm not sure exactly where it is. I believe it was a guy, it could have been an older lady, I'm not sure, but he had been feeding them. And he had to go in the hospital, and when he got out, a lot of his animals were dead because they got pissed off. They weren't getting food.
Oh my gosh.
Goats and stuff, and they killed them. So.
I've never heard that. That's horrible.
Well, it's just like anything. It's a wild animal, basically. Just like a bear or mountain lion or any of that. It's wild, untamed. And people that think that they can tame it, they might get a rude awakening.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything, I don't think you tame something that intelligent. You may coexist, but I don't think you ever have control over anything.
Well, which one's going to do the taming is the point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about who is training who, you're out there with them and you're looking for them, and they're only going to show themselves if they want to.
If they want to. That's what we've heard too. Yeah. What do you guys think of like the predator camouflaging? Have you heard of that? Like where they had the movie Predator where the thing goes invisible, but you see that aura?
I've seen the video of that. And yes, that was wicked. I can't explain it. I don't know about that. And that might be, if I think back to that one that I told you about that was standing up against the bushes in the honeysuckle. And, if you ain't looking real hard, you would have never seen it. And I just happened to see, if I remember right, I seen movement or something that was just out of place, something that just didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what caught my eye. And it's a possibility.
That begs the question, are they interdimensional? Are they supernatural?
Yeah, did it go through a portal? I mean, what are they? Are they something we can't understand? Is the other side. We don't have a reference. They must go down to earth.
I firmly believe they're flesh and blood, but probably with abilities that we can't really understand. As far as cloaking, I'm not sure because I don't even know if that was one personally. You know what I mean? But I do know that generally people are, when they're out and about, our eyes track movement. And then you get something that will sit so still. Our eyes are not going to pay much attention to that. You could probably walk right by one and not even know it.
Think it's a stump or something.
As indeed, greatly did, yes.
Yeah. Well, people report that all the time. The stump got up and ran away. Or that tree moved,
Yeah.
It sounds
and then you have them videos that they post where, it shows the footprints just disappearing.
I've heard that too.
I don't know. A lot of people believe it's portals. I don't know if I go that far with it.
I don't like to appropriate culture, and it really bothers me when people outside of the Navajo Hopi Ute area talk about skinwalkers, because that is native to their belief system. And if we
Sure.
apply that to like the puckwudgies or the golem thingy that you talked about,
Gugway.
that isn't really fair. But do you think there are other entities around the country that are like a skinwalker? Because we know skinwalkers, they have to become skinwalkers. They're witches that do a horrible murder of someone within their family or someone they love to become this witch, this skinwalker. But I don't know what it's like in other traditions. If there is something like a skinwalker that can.
The only thing is, in some of the native cultures, that's the only time I've really heard, the skinwalker.
Mhm.
As far as what they, of course, I think there's a different name that they have for it, right, Rich?
I think so. I
I
know it.
I can't remember. It's we covered it on one of our episodes,
Oh.
but I can't remember.
Because you guys are into the dogman phenomena too, and that kind of answers that question for me anyway. I can, like I said before, I can picture a Bigfoot being a real thing, but I have trouble conceptualizing a dogman. But when you bring it to the native belief system, it could be possible.
Well, you see paintings, and totem poles of Bigfoot, Dogman, all these other, all these others, so you kind of wonder about that, is it real? Me and Richard, we just really started getting into the whole Dogman thing with some of our episodes. I don't think, as far as popularity, it definitely ain't as big as Bigfoot, but it seems to be a growing phenomenon.
Yeah, I'm growing up in Minnesota like I did, of course. All I knew of Dogman was in Wisconsin, the Buceboro Road, and then up in northern Michigan. I knew there were some sightings and stuff, but I didn't realize that you had them down here as well.
Right.
Just it's something I don't want to really run into, but
No, definitely not.
They don't sound like they give you much a chance.
Well, I think they're more apt to come after you than Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And they seem to be more violent.
Well, we could also say it depends on what kind of Bigfoot you're dealing with too.
Yeah, that is true.
I would rather deal with the ones down here in the lower 48s than say Alaska.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with those.
I don't know, some of the missing 411, David Pilates seems to think that people at the end of the trail are getting nabbed by Bigfoot. If you're at the back of the line, you're gone. Just missing, and they can't find them.
I heard.
Or there was the instance of the little boy who said that a bear man took me and kept me in the cave and fed me berries. And then another boy that said, I didn't like my other grandmother. And they're saying, what are you talking about? The grandmother that kept me in the cave, And it was just a mimic of his real grandmother.
Right.
Just weird things like that.
Well, there's another missing 411. A little girl in Arkansas turned up missing, was gone for 7 days. This is like in the 60s, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they found her. She wasn't dehydrated. She wasn't starving, in a cave. And I think she blacked most of it out. But that also reminds me, you said the person at the back of the line getting nabbed. There was a survey crew, I'm wanting to say in Georgia, like 3 or 4 guys, and they were all in a line doing surveys out somewhere, middle of nowhere. And one guy looked back, and the guy was there, and then a couple minutes later, he looks back, and that guy's gone. All they found was some pocket change, I believe his watch, and a shoe on a fence post.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
You hear a lot of this in the Appalachians, too, of people going off the trail and
Yeah, there's quite a few stories out there, and anybody who is into something like that, the missing 411 is something to see. There are so many stories.
Yes.
It just it'll blow your mind.
Yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't attribute most of that to Bigfoot because people do go missing all the time, and I would attribute that more to weather and an accident most of the time, not all the time. But there's always that slim chance that something picked a guy off or a girl or whatever, because a lot of these people that go missing have no business going missing. They're outdoorsmen that know the woods, and most of the time know the area that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
They shouldn't go
Park
missing.
rangers in Yosemite going missing and stuff. You don't find them till the next spring.
The least likely.
Right.
Yeah. I know of one guy, I believe this was in Idaho. He was so familiar with this mountain range that he had caches of supplies in case he got stranded up there. Yeah. And he was with buddies, and he's like, look, I'm going to go over here and get this to this cache of supplies. And he never came back. They found him in a field, I'm wanting to say miles and miles away.
Well, the whole thing about it is they kept finding, they'd find like his boots one place, and then they might find his backpack in another place, and then his shirt in another place. It just kept going, until they actually found him.
Yeah.
Well, so do you think, did he take those things off? Did he drop them as he was running, or did something even throw them in different directions?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you're catching something like hypothermia, you're not in your right mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
I've had hypothermia, and I know the feeling that you want to take your clothes off because you got this running sweat going on, but you're freezing to death. But like you say, your mind isn't doing right.
It's possible that there's a lot of victims of this hypothermia, but I mean, part of me can't rule out that there is a slim, I'm saying very slim portion that could be attributed to the supernatural or Bigfoot. I'm not one of those that think they're your friendly forest giants.
No.
I believe if the opportunity presented itself, if they were in bad up shape and you're just happening to walk down that trail and they need something to eat, and I mean, they're going to have to be in bad shape to probably go after one of us.
Right.
What happens when one of us goes missing? More come into the area and go looking.
Not only that, we're not the easiest prey to catch.
Well, you say that, but I think
you think we're stupid?
No, not stupid. These things run down deer. We can't catch a deer.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But deer can't really fight back other than with their hooves. That could be nasty.
Well, I don't know what you're going to do to one if you're like unarmed. I'd hate to see
Poke
that.
its eyes out.
You're jumping in the air trying to get its eyes.
Adam's apple chop.
Knee chop.
I will say that there's accounts of their strength and their speed. It's just legendary stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, they can just disappear so quick,
in these places where you've had these encounters, have you gone back or have you seen any bent over boughs or X's with trees or some kind of made marking that looks not natural?
Not so many X's, but bent over trees.
Yeah, a lot of bent trees and stuff like that and breaks. Of course, that was more up in the mountain. We never did really go and investigate around the lake or anything like that.
Oh, I wonder personally if we dropped off the side of the mountain in some of those deep valleys, if we wouldn't find some stuff.
Yeah, you probably would, but we ain't in the right shape to drop off in the valley.
You're right about that. Oh gosh.
Some of that territory is so bad. One time, my dad, I was dealing with, I had some bone spurs on my feet, and we was up on top of that mountain where we took y'all on the very top, and we was going along there, and we'd stop and kind of walk out to the edge, of the mountain before it drops off, and we wasn't finding. We was looking for bear signs, what we was looking for, and we wasn't doing very good. Wasn't finding much. And he said, "Okay," he said, "let's just go just a little ways off the mountain." So we started going a little ways off the mountain, and we go 100 yards. And he said, "Okay, let's just go another 100 yards." So we kept doing this 100-yard thing, and then finally we was at the bottom of the mountain. And the truck was back up at the top.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
uphill is not a good way to run when you're running from something, is it?
Was it you with us, Richard, or was it Zach?
I think it was Zach. It wasn't.
Yeah. But anyway, there was places it was about that steep, and we'd go up, and I'd find a tree, and I'd lean up against that tree because that was the only place you could rest,
Yeah.
You go about 10, 15 feet, find you a tree, just lean up against it, and you're huffing and puffing. And I mean, it was just rugged land. And that's just the way it is out there. And, and I think that contributes to why there's Bigfoot activity out there.
Well, that, and you're not talking about the rock slides and all that, the briar bush. Oh my God, thickets of them.
Yeah.
And navigate and crawl up rock slides, old rock slides, and just.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh yeah,
every time you definitely got to be in shape.
And we're not anymore. We're working on it.
No.
Age forgives you.
Yeah,
Bigfoot wouldn't.
We're all told. Well, where can we find you guys online?
Oh, you can catch us at the Supernatural Roundtable at youtube.com. For sure. That's where that's where our biggest thing is. Then we have our own Facebook group. You'd have to look us up. The Arky Squatchers. I mean, message one of us and we can invite people in for sure.
And you have a Gmail account, correct?
Supernatural Roundtable at gmail.com. And we're willing to listen to like anyone's story. I mean, it's like us getting that message from his friend that I hate to say it, kind of lit a fire in us. We're ready to get out there.
Yeah. And, and also, the sister podcast that really started us off, started all of it, is, oh my gosh.
Paranormal Adventures.
Yeah, thank you. Paranormal Adventures with Sean and Crystal. And they have their own Gmail too. It's Paranormal Adventures 2 at gmail.com.
Is that 2 as in Arabic numeral or
just 2, number 2?
Just a 2. Okay. Alrighty. And just another thing I want to bring up is not only have you guys done wonderful stories on cryptids, but that man who mass murdered his family was very interesting. And you guys did a great job on that.
Oh, you talking about the one...
Ronald Gene Simmons.
Yeah, Ronald Gene Simmons.
I hate to say that. When we picked that up as our topic and then finally started looking into it, that one bothered both of us.
It got dark, didn't it?
Sure.
That was really dark.
As a dad, and he's a grandpa, I can't, we just cannot see doing that.
Yeah, it definitely went a little bit too dark for us, I think.
I mean, we don't have a problem talking about dark cryptid stuff or dark ghost stuff. It's just when you talk about killing your own
something
family.
That actually happened.
Yes.
Right.
And the mental instability that guy had.
No doubt about it.
It was so horrible. But what I want to say about that is the research you guys did on that and how deep you went, and on every episode you do is par excellence. You really do a great job.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we really do. And we try to find information out there that possibly nobody else knows.
Oh yeah, and you have.
Sure.
You've done cases that I've known about for years and pulled out stuff I didn't know.
Well, you know, we got some more coming up that we're going to do that I found. Remember that, Rich?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
He has a file cabinet now where he's.
Yeah, I started keeping a file cabinet, but
All the websites in it.
yeah, all of our episodes and all the information, I've got a printer and I'll print off all the information I find, and it goes into my file now.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna have some interesting stories coming up that you probably never heard of.
Yeah, you've done stories I've never heard of too, and I'm looking forward to those.
Certainly looking forward to them.
Hey, are you bringing up the grandkids to help you hunt these things?
The grandkids,
Yeah.
well, maybe when they get a little bigger. Of course, my oldest grandkids, they're probably old enough to go, but it'd probably still scare them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer not personally, not until they're much older. Just
Yeah, no doubt about it.
How old were you when you had the hunting sound again? The haunting sound, I mean.
I was 20 something.
Oh, so you were an adult.
Well, we're older, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just remember I'd ignored all this stuff for years. And then, I mean, I didn't say this earlier, but then we started having activity around the house after that happened.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was just, I know Mom, she didn't see it. She saw a shadow run across our backyard and leap the fence. It was just, and we were in town. And it was just across our yard and gone.
Wow. Did she say it was big enough to be a Bigfoot, or was it a shadow person thing?
Yeah, she thinks it's big enough to be a Bigfoot.
Oh, wow.
And then one night I'm sitting at home alone and I'm playing video games because that's what I do in my spare time when I'm not doing this. And I hear walking in the pasture.
Sorry. Our
Good.
cat is going nuts.
Yeah.
You're good. But I hear walking in the pasture and I'm just thinking it's my neighbor's cows. And then the thought occurs to me, he sold his cows. What the hell am I hearing? Because it was big. And then I noticed it was bipedal, because once you've been in the woods long enough, most people that know, I mean, you can tell the sound of 2 legs to 4 legs. I'm like, that is really weird. So I walk out on the porch. As soon as I'm outside on the porch, I get the strongest feeling, you need to go back inside the house. So I did.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning I go out, and the way the pasture is, it's like flat right here beside the house and it slopes off. On that slope part, all the grass was matted down, like something had been peering over the edge of that hill and watching me when I walked outside.
Oh.
I laid down in that spot, which smelled bad, by the way. It was just something funky about it. But I kneeled down that spot and I had the perfect view of where I'd come outside.
Oh, wow.
After that, I didn't go outside at dark much.
Oh, I bet.
No. Not without the 410.
410, I had a 12 gauge, which probably still wouldn't have done much, but you know.
Right, well, Richard and Craig, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. And it was great as always.
And we're looking forward to doing some paranormal stuff with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, we're hoping to do that. And, if things turn out with this new place we got, we may bring y'all in on some Bigfoot hunting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes.
We'll be there.
All right.
Yeah.
Y'all, it was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And y'all stay safe in this storm.
Yeah.
And we'll
Y'all
keep
too.
in touch so we know we're all alive and everything, okay?
You bet. Y'all take
All right.
care.
You too. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.